Hey y'all, I want to welcome y'all to this channel. It's the Chicago Vibe Podcast. We'll be dropping this Saturday with your girl, Lady T. Marie and Mr. Success. You don't want to miss it. Good afternoon, everybody. Thank y'all for tuning in to It's a Chicago Vibe with Lady T. Marie and
DJ Mr. Success.
yes. And so we coming back this episode 2. We got so much good feedback from the last episode to where I'm excited to do more, and I'll get into that at another day. Maybe go live about what the things that we got coming up next. But I want to get right into this episode. Last week episode was about mental illness, and when I the day that we released the show, I had got basically attacked. When I say attack, I mean physically attacked by the enemy. And he basically used someone in my family, which is my daughter. And I'm a little still traumatized because we touch on things on the spiritual aspect of mental illness and the things of how you can be free. And so, when you expose the enemy, he get upset. I didn't know how to really take what happened to me. It was very traumatic, basically, like it almost cost me my life. That's when I know, like, so we doing something good to where the enemy literally wanted to take me out of here. And so I just want to piggyback off. I know we're going to talk about family and friends, the purpose of family and friends this week, but just if we didn't cover, everything that we cover as far as mental illness, I will say, like we said last week, that it's spiritual warfare, and a lot of people have reached out to me and was really blessed, by the episode. So continue to just stay prayed up and, stay focused. No matter what the enemy try to do to you, just keep it moving. And if he ain't bothering, if the enemy ain't after you, that means you ain't doing what you're supposed to be doing. So if he not bothering you, if he bothering you, you doing what you're supposed to do. If he ain't bothering you, then you need to check yourself. So this week we're gonna have Mr. Success open up about family and friends, the purpose of family and friends.
Right. And like you say, when you're doing something good, it's gonna always be those attacks, and that's when you know you're on the right path doing what you're supposed to do. God created family. Well, no family is perfect, so let's just keep that in mind. Yet we have
Absolutely.
no control over who we are kin to and related to. We can't control who we befriend and who we keep in our circle. Just keep that in mind.
Absolutely.
Family that you always collide with. It's like jealousy or some or whatever it may be. It's just the enemy trying to keep you guys apart. You have to find ways and be willing to, because God don't make no mistakes. He made you a family for a reason. It's on you. You got to think of some of the biblical families. I mean, think about some of the stuff they done went through and horrible stuff. You think you going through bad times? I mean, just look at all the biblical things that went on in the Bible. And
Absolutely.
the key to a strong family is it's a saying the family that prays together stays together. That is true. You know, every year you have a party, you invite somebody to your party or Super Bowl parties or whatever, your birthday party, whatever. Start just calling somebody on the regular, say, I want to get out and let's go pray. Let's go get praises and stuff like that. You don't see stuff like that no more. And all
Mhm.
those are type of things to build strong family, backbones and everything. You just party, party, party. You giving the enemy leeway to find ways to attack you that way. You just are all around negative things. Don't just wait to every time a phone rings, it's a family member. It's just either some bad news or they talking about somebody, got about somebody did this, somebody did that. Let's pick up the phone sometime and say, let's pray together without
Absolutely.
nothing going on sometime. Just do that. Start making plans to do stuff you haven't experienced before. Everybody have a part. If it's not a milestone, don't invite me to it. Because 9 times out of 10, I'm not gonna show up because I'm working,
Mhm.
I'm doing other things. Now I departed with you before. I know that they're gonna lead to argument, jealousy and this other nonsense that don't have to go on. So it's key ways to get strong family values and stuff. You just got to figure that way out, you and your family members. Keep colliding on arguments this way, trying to have gatherings. Find another way to succeed that's something you both can relate to. And I say prayer. It starts with prayer.
Another thing, prayer is definitely the foundation of keeping the family together. But throughout the years, when we are not given a handbook when we born into this life of how to be a mother, how to be a friend, how to be a father, how to be a child. We just go through the motions and go through life, expecting to have the best out of what we have in life was the cards that we dealt, right? And so a lot of things that I feel that can help a lot of families is that a lot of families don't, a lot of, family and friends would be going to counseling and venting, venting and talking about and not really harboring, and sweeping under the rug all of the emotions and the things that's bothering you, or if someone has offended you, because people think every family is not a bad situation. I could say from experience, like on my mother's side of the family, we are a very tight family. Everybody don't get along. Some people you don't like, you love them. I'm being very transparent. You love them, but some people you just be like, I just don't like them. It's just not, I'm gonna feed you with a long handle spoon, and I don't hate you, but it's just, you just not my cup of tea. And it's okay, it's okay. And we have friends that sometimes, you may have friends that you grew up with and as a child, your childhood, and you kind of like grow apart, but doesn't mean because you don't see a person every day that they not your friend. You just got to know. I'm gonna say this. It's a scripture in the Bible, Ecclesiastics. I think the 3:1. I think is a time and a season and a purpose for everything under the sun. So it's a time to be born, it's a time to live, it's a time to cry, it's a time to die. And you got to know what your season is. Sometimes people are seasonal people. Sometimes people are lifetime people. And it depends on where God is elevating you, where he's taking you. You may have known a person or like a friend that you've been knowing for 20 years, but you in a different season now. It doesn't mean that because you're not around that person that's no longer your friend, or you ain't rocking with them. It's just you God is elevating you. And I can speak for myself as me being in ministry. It's not, you can't take things personal. When it comes to God is, elevating you, or maybe you in school and you just around a different type of peers, and you just got to go with wherever God send you. And everybody not going to understand your process. They're not going to understand where God is taking you. And it's okay, because God didn't put the purpose in them. He put it in you. And so we got to let it, live out whatever God put it in us. So
think about what type of legacy you want to leave for yourself and for your family on down here on this earth. Do you really want to be remembered as the person to keep up mess all the time or just party all the time? Think about it sometime. Don't just celebrate. Like a lot of people take these holidays for the wrong reason. Some people say I don't celebrate the holidays because they was created for this. The enemy created this holiday to do this. Okay, well if the enemy created for that, you could always overwhelm the enemy by celebrating the Lord. Meet with your family and talk about the Lord, talk about the goodness and stuff like that. You don't have to celebrate because you see your friends posting pics. They want to follow the trends. They do this, they do that. No, you're taking the holidays for the wrong reason. You can take that time to settle out and work out family differences. I mean,
absolutely.
Every week, don't call me over your house, or don't want to come over my house, or let's do this, do that. Let's make plans to meet each other and have for a good reason, not just because I want to see what you're up to, how you've been doing. You know what I've been up to. You know what I've been up to. You know what I've been doing. Come on, let's pray. If you just want to pray, if you want to get some off your mind, let's pray. Let's give thanks and stuff like that. Celebrate the
Yeah,
holidays that way. You don't have to follow the trend because okay, I can't give a gift or something like that. Okay, it's better to give than receive anyway. I mean, come receive the message. Do some positive
absolutely.
light going out and stuff. So
And I feel like another way you can like mend relationships or kind of like just by creating a family tradition. You know what I'm saying? Like my grandmother on my father's side, she got a family tradition where every Saturday the family meets. Her kids is just maybe her immediate family where they meet every Saturday, whether they cook, whether they break bread, whether they pray, or whatever the case is every Saturday forever, as long as I've been born, like this is her tradition for her family and even for holidays. So she's my grandmother on my father's side, but and my mother's side as well, but mainly like my father's side because I've really been around them like the most. Just taught me the value of family. Like she taught me how to love, how to she just showed that love. It was, every time you would come in the house, she would embrace you with a hug and just show just that love. Like, and that's that is just in me. I don't know anything else. I don't know. I was never taught how to have hate, you know what I mean, towards someone, even if they done me wrong. I may feel a certain type of way because I'm human about that person, but it's like, okay, I don't even have to have you in my circle. I don't even have to have you in my atmosphere. You're not even that important to me. And I remember my pastor years ago had revealed to me that and she said this to me. She said that your purpose is bigger than your problems. Your purpose in life is bigger than anything that the enemy is trying to hinder you from. So we have to know that we have to get to the finish line. We have to complete whatever assignment that God put in us to do, whatever dreams, whatever goals, whatever aspirations that we desire in life. The only way that we can do those things is if sometimes you just got to let people go. You know what I'm saying? Like, and it's okay. It's okay.
One thing my mother taught me and she instilled in me, never have a favorite. Like I hear people saying I have a favorite auntie, uncle, and stuff like this. That creates jealousy and envy
Um,
from another
yeah,
person. So they'll even spite you for even saying that was my favorite person and stuff like that. No, God made you
mhm.
have more than one person in your life, probably to help and guide you, to lead you to be a better
Right.
person. You need this one you can learn because I done learned something from all my sisters, my brother, my uncle, every uncle in my life. I done learned something different from them. It's still
Right.
make me the man right now today. And a lot of people, when I see a big part of having a strong family is you got to learn how to be a good leader. Everybody want to be the king or the queen of this and that and don't even know how to lead. You got to learn how to lead first before you can even jump out on that thing. And when I find someone jealous and envy of me, family member or friend, what I start doing, I'm like, I'm doing something wrong. It's just they love that negativity and just start giving off all positive vibes. Start
Yeah.
doing what I'm doing now, giving God the glory and stuff like that. And then if
Yes.
they do try to find something to hate on you, the person will look at them like they crazy, like this brother doing this, doing that, and then hopefully they'll try to mimic you that way, give out praise, and so now we all spread good energy and stuff like that. That's stuff my mother and like a lot of my aunts taught me. You gotta sometimes you can't beat the devil at his own game. You send a person at you,
Yeah.
try to bring you down to do this, you smile at them. Start doing something good. Somebody say something bad to you, tell them thank you sometime. Watch the
Yeah.
reaction on their face. You gotta
Yeah.
beat the devil at his own game. Don't let them see that you can make you mad about stuff. Because it's a lot of family that I try to avoid because they know exactly what to say or they think they do anyway nowadays. But it's a whole new me to get under my skin and try to get you off to make you fall off your square. So it takes to
Yeah.
have to be a family, like I said, become a leader. Everything
Right.
else will follow. You got to learn how to lead your family to the way you want them to be.
I definitely agree. And I also I feel like this, you don't have to be blood, for a person to be your family. I have godmothers, spiritual mothers, spiritual fathers who have been more, more like a mother to me, more like a grandmother to me, more of like a father to me. And we not blood. And I see them probably more than I see my own family.
Yeah.
I have children, godsons and goddaughters who I love them just as much as I love my own children, and I feel like God put people in your life to help you get to that next level, you know what I mean? And sometimes people in your life to plant seeds, to nurture you, to where you need to be, because you may not. It's a lot of things that I didn't figure out about until I got an adult, and that's like about my credit. Nobody as a kid ever told me you need a credit score of 800. Nobody ever told me you gotta make sure you pay your bills and stuff on time because it's gonna affect your credit when you become an adult. So it's just a lot of things that I God put people in my life to teach me, like, okay, you want this, you want these businesses, you wanna soar in life, like you gotta make sure your credit's intact, you gotta make sure this is in order. So, so that you could get to the place where you need to be,
And another thing
Yeah.
you gotta learn, especially with like you say, a person could be considered family that's not blood. And it's like a lot of family that you probably dislike or something, but don't dislike them because they was put in your life for a reason. That's why when I get around other people in the industry, media and stuff, I can actually sense a person that's no good and nothing like that because they give me that family member that God put in my life.
Yeah.
And I tell people I was raised by some of the best people. I was raised around people that keep up a lot of mess. I know people out, so that's where I sense when, okay, I'm traveling down the wrong road. I don't want to go around that road no more.
Yes.
I have a family member that said those same exact words. So I'm doing something wrong here. If you ask me for something, I give it to you with my own heart. Then you talk about what I gave you. You asked it for me. I mean, you're not the type of person I need to be around because you're gonna take my
Right.
for my weakness because that's why I say God sometimes put family in your life to even make you strong. Because if I hadn't experienced that,
Absolutely.
I could see takers. I sense there's a lot of things just because of the people who I was brought up with around in my life, and that's why I see God put them there for a reason.
Another thing I want to add too, the part where you said about it's like a familiar spirit.
Right?
When
Yeah.
it's like a familiar spirit. And let me tell you something, God, sometimes it be a test. Sometimes that's those people will be brought in your life as a test until, and it's like the same, it's not the same person, but it's the same spirit. And it's like until you pass the test, it's like it's a repeat, like, man, you got somebody that may be attacking you that's just keeping up drama, and then you may go in another circle around the people and around another circle of people in a whole nother state. But then this person is not your family member, but you like, oh my God, this the same spirit that be attacking me. So a lot of times God be testing us to see how we gonna handle that person. Are you gonna cuss that person out? Are you gonna just remove yourself? How would you handle the situation? Because like I said earlier, when you pass, the test from, being able to not really being around that person, but handle the attacks and handle however they misrepresented you or made you feel uncomfortable, God, he'll elevate us. You know what I'm saying? He will elevate us in a different level where it won't even affect us. If that person is in your presence, or I've dealt with that a lot, especially in ministry. I'm like, man, this person act like such and such and such, and it's like, and sometimes you run from it, but it's like sometimes God be wanting us to face it. You know what I mean? To face it, and He has given us power and dominion over the enemy. You know, to bind, to loose, to rebuke. You know, and I just learned, but sometimes you get in some seasons where you be like, God, I don't even want to be around the people. I just rather not that you isolate yourself, but you like, I don't even have the energy or the time to waste my time on just foolishness. So I just stay away from you. I love you, you know, and people they take things. I had family members, you know, to tell me that I don't put enough time in doing stuff for the family, and it's like, you know, you only one person, you know, especially if you have already have your immediate family, you have children, you have responsibility. You can't run and jump to everything somebody do, every event somebody had, everything, you know, somebody in the hospital. Some it's your family is too big to jump into everything. So y'all don't take it personal when you have a family member or you may have a friend out there and they can't come to your rescue. You know what I'm saying? Every single time, it's impossible. You know what I mean? That person is one person. Don't take it personal. Don't take it personal if your sister or your brother can't show up to your kids' basketball game. You know what I'm saying? Like, or they can't show up to your event. I had plenty of times. I had many, and you can attest, Sammy, that Mr. Success, you can attest that I've had events, and a lot of times my family won't even show up besides like my father. But it's packed out. Why? Because it's because I have supporters and a majority of these people, well, majority of all the other people that was there weren't even my family. But I still had the support. So sometimes your family may not support you because you telling them, look, I want to have my own production company. I done told my family like I want to do films, I want to do movies, and they like, she want to do films and movies, and I want my own radio station. They can't see the vision because God didn't put it in them. So, but you have to when God tell you to write the vision and make it plain, it's already manifested because you wrote it. You know what I'm saying? He put it in you to write it. He gonna manifest it. He gonna give the increase. But everybody not. Let me say this for the people in the back that's listening. Everybody not gonna support your vision. Everybody not gonna support your dreams. Everybody not gonna understand what God put in you because He didn't put it in them. You know what I'm saying? Like that's just like I was prophesied to and that I was gonna be the next Tyler Perry, that I was gonna do film. On the outside looking in, how she gonna be the next Tyler Perry? She ain't got no money, she ain't got no millions of dollars. Well, Tyler Perry started out with sleeping in his car. You know what I'm saying? He started out with sleeping in his car. And because he paid his tithes and offerings, God gave him an increase. So you don't know how God gonna move. You don't know if I'm the next billionaire. You know what I'm saying? And a lot of family members and a lot of friends, foes, woes, or whoever you want, whatever category you want to fit in, they judge because they only see what they eyes. But when God puts something in you and that's what you want to do, go for it. Continue to go for it. I could say anything to anybody out there that whether you 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 80 years old, you have something that you want to accomplish, whether it's going back to school, whether it's, just whatever, you know what I'm saying? You want to start a knitting company, you know what I'm saying? You want to start creating flyers or whatever your dream is. Like, don't let people get in your ear and put a stop on what God put in you to do, because people ain't gonna see it. And that's all I keep hearing is like people not gonna see the vision. They gonna see it when it's manifested. That's when they gonna believe it. When they see all them zeros in your bank account, when they see, you on TV with celebrities or doing, whatever it is that God putting you to do, that's when they gonna see the vision. And it's like, it's okay. So don't get upset when people be like, well, I want to do this in life and I'm going to do this. And I would say maybe 4 years ago, I think I started my first podcast when it was Beyond the Four Walls. And I basically I would just interview pastors and preachers and stuff like that. And I didn't, think of it in any other kind of way besides I always wanted to do radio. Like that was just a passion of mine. And I remember telling certain individuals, and they was just looking at me like, you're gonna have your own radio show, you're gonna have this and you're gonna have that. And I wanna do music, I wanna produce, I wanna do flyers, you know what I'm saying? Like that was something that I wanted to do. And I didn't know how to, and Sammy, you can vouch for this. I didn't know how to edit. I didn't even know how to I didn't know how to do nothing. I was going in straight blind, but I continued to practice and watch videos. And now I make some of the dopest album covers for artists and business cards and flyers, and it took practice. So you could teach, and I taught myself. Now I'm like, you know what? Since I accomplished that and I'm learning more, I want to start producing. I want to be behind the scenes and doing movies and directing and even producing music, and making beats. And I'm learning that too. So you don't have to have one particular thing that you want to do in life. You may want to do multiple things. You may want to be an actor. You may want to be an actress. You may want to be behind the scenes. Whatever it is that you want to do, don't let nobody stop you from doing what you want to do. So,
and on that, we're going to take a little commercial break, and we'll be right back after these messages. Dear God, thank you for the gift of family and friends. Bless everyone, for they deserve all the goodness you have given to me. May the love that binds us only grow stronger as we fulfill the destiny you have laid out for us. Protect us against any and all problems we may encounter in the future. Give us strength to overcome all of the difficulties that we are dealing with now. Heavenly Father, bless us, Lord. In your name I pray. Amen.
Hey you, do you feel your back is up against the wall with nowhere to go or turn? Mental illness is real. And if you or someone you know is battling with this demon, try Jesus. This commercial is sponsored by the Lord. All right. Welcome back to It's the Chicago Vibe with yours truly, Mr. Success and Lady T. And we're talking about the purpose of family and friends issues. Before we end, I just want to remind everybody of this. World War I. Remember what that war basically was based on and why did it start? It basically was a family war. So to say that is, don't let the enemy take control of your family. Do the necessary steps. If you have to step off a while, feed people with a long kind of spoon, but do not create a war. That's not the purpose of your family. Your family is to be able to become strong, learn from one another, teach one another, because in this life, even the people who I don't want to be around, I understand the reason why God put them in my life. It's made me a stronger person. Now I know how to deal with the outside world, the sticks and stones people throw at me on the outside. And before we end, I would like you to give everybody a little word or something before we get out of there, Lady T. Okay, always remember to allow your foundation to be God. When the foundation is right, everything else will be right. So when your foundation is solid, you can't build a house on sand. You only could build a house on a solid foundation. So start from the bottom, and work your way up and allow God to guide you and to lead you. And forgiveness is the key, because that's the only way you can move on. And it's not for nobody else. Even if they don't forgive you, so that you can be free, you got to forgive and love. So I'm your girl, Lady T, and thank y'all for tuning in to It's a Chicago Vibe. I want to send love to the world and hugs to them thugs.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know my motto, when you witness success, you always have a ball. If I can't tell the truth, it's nothing at all. Mr. Success, bringing pleasure, no stress. Until next week, y'all, peace.
Stop.
C-H-I-C-A-G-O, C-H-I-C-A, let's go, go, C-H-I-C-A-G-O, C-H-I-C-A, let's go, go, C-H-I-C-A-G-O, C-H-I-C-A, let's go, go, C-H-I-C-A.